Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Thunder. Tonight, we take you to the Mile Speedway out in the cornfields of Iowa as the chase heats up and every moment is micro focused as we take you to the conclusion of our thrilling third season here on Friday nights. I'm your host, Snake, and I have with me my partner in crime, Smokin' Joe, and we have Fast Louie in the booth once again. Welcome, gentlemen. How are we doing tonight?
Hey, Louie's here with us again. Great time to be out here in Iowa. Big shout out to Buddy once again producing the broadcast for us this week. Can't wait to see what we're in store for. Iowa last season was the only caution-free race of the series, so we'll see if some daylight brings the same kind of action here today.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to tonight. Iowa is a chase race this season where it was just a part of the regular season event last season. So a little bit of change here. It looks like we have a little bit of a warm racing surface, a little bit of a slick track there, Louie. What are you looking forward tonight as these drivers here are really heating things up in the chase?
Well, Iowa usually produces long green flag runs because the field gets usually spread out and it's all about lap, consistent lap after lap. So I look forward to have some long green flag runs here and see what happens.
Absolutely. You know, you have those different paved grip strips there, a little bit of an update. So, you know, those guys are going to be focused on trying to hit their marks and use that nice smooth surface to their advantage. But take a look at this points graphic up here. After last week, Ken Redinger still able to solidify and grow his advantage ever so slightly over Justin Parham. We saw Joe Volpis there have a little bit of trouble, lost some points as well, so he's going to really have to take a big swing at it tonight. Steve Lewis moved up a spot while Matt Novella moved down a spot. So we see a little bit of a trend up there. It's really tight in the points here, you know, when you look from third back to ninth there. It's really anybody's game to move up the standings there, as you see Redinger and Parham are really going for it. But you see Dalton Connor moved up a spot, Jay Stinson moved up the spot, Brandon Guerin moved down two, and then behind them you got Fox and Beverly Gambrell and Fritz round that out. So Joe, taking a look here, really nice graphic showing some trends there. What can we derive from these standings?
Sim Racer Hub has done some awesome stuff here. So you can see all that different color coding going on the behind lead. So pretty much what this is signifying is you see Justin Parham in yellow. That means that is a realistic amount of points that could be made up here tonight, being 21 back. Everybody in red could mathematically make up those spots, but based on I think the way this works is it's based on the average amount of drivers showing up. So based on the average amount of drivers showing up, I think the drivers in red would have a mathematical shot to show up if more than the usual guys show up. And then the guys with those black locks next to them there, they're too far back to make up the points in one race. So that'll be a good thing to track as we go forward, to see who's still got a chance to win this championship and who doesn't. So I'm going to pay attention to see, because I know this is like a new technology they're working on, it looks like. And I'm spitballing. I think that's what all that means. So I want to see how many drivers are in yellow after this week. I don't know if this week's standings have the same graphic going on yet or not, but I know the technology is still kind of getting worked out. But I want to pay attention to how many drivers are in yellow.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting there. You know, the technology ever evolving, some more eye candy there to help us and the viewer watching to understand things better. We'll take a look here as practice is wrapping up. We're going to go right into qualifying. So we saw those graphics. We saw who needs to have a big night, and it all starts with the qualifying. So who are some favorites tonight you think that can really figure out this mile speedway, Louis? Louis doesn't have a favorite. So, Joe, who do you think are going to be the high flyers here at Iowa? You know, we have some of the guys that raced last season. So, you know, the logic says, well, you know, if they ran well last season, they might run well again this season.
Yeah, that would be a fair point. Last season's winner's not racing tonight though. That was Buddy Sully that won last season over Andrew Davis. So he's not in the field here tonight. So we will have a different winner this season for certain. But you know, looking at qualifying from last season, yeah, I'm looking at the guys that are up there in the points, right? Parham, Redinger, Vulpes, all of them qualified pretty well last season. Last season, though, it looks like Redinger had the best out of the three of them race-wise, even though Parham got the pole. But yeah, all three of them, I would expect them to qualify up front. Here's a newcomer that's been running pretty well, Blake Tuggle, and also Matthew Fritz out there running some laps right now. Fritz last season, let's see if I don't think he was at this race last season actually. So we'll get to see Matthew Fritz on this style of track this time around as well. There's Joe Vulpes. He was in the race, of course, last season, ended up a lap down in that caution-free race. Blake Tuggle to the top of the boards, though, here early, see.
Yeah, Tuggle. So Tuggle, newcomer this season. You know, he's shown lots of speed, lots of battles up front here, mixing things up in the Friday Night Thunder. You know, a lot of talent there. Definitely looking forward to seeing more from him here as we ride on board with Tommy Fox, Mr. Top 10 himself. So let's see what Tommy can do. See if he can put himself down a heater here. We've seen him get a couple poles in this series before, so anything's possible. Looks like fourth place currently. And there's Jay Stinson as well, another really strong qualifier as well. We'll see if he has a good qualifying effort. The car always has good long run speed as well wherever we go.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. Louis, you know Jay Stinson, how good he is on a long run. Are you looking for him to start up front here and try and maybe be one of those guys that's threatening for the race lead early, or you think he's going to try and work his way through the field?
No, I think he's going to want the lead, and if he can take it, I think he's going to be a hard charger right here at the start.
Yeah, I think it's one of these places where you want that clean air, you want to get that advantage, and perhaps set the pace. You know, looks like they're currently second, doing all the things you need to do to try to be up front as we ride on board with Beverly right there. Beverly not having the chase that he was hoping for, but hopefully he can rebound tonight. We're going to see what that 77's got in store for us.
Yep, here he comes to put down a qualifying lap. You know, you definitely have a point. This definitely is, for racetracks, this is definitely one of those that you got to be worried about here tonight as Beverly puts down 7th there on the first lap, looking to find some more speed on lap 2.
Yeah, so hopefully, looks like he just missed the seam there, so this one's not going to be much better of an effort as he loses it on that second lap. So things going from bad to worse for his chase this season. So hopefully he can keep it straight once we go green. And there is the model of consistency right there, Ken Redinger, and then we change to Justin Parham. Justin Parham currently on the pole. Let's see if he can improve on that time. Ooh, a little wiggle there. It looks like Parham's going to have the pole at the moment. Ken Redinger almost got him there. Very close. Very, very close.
2/100ths off. Very, very close.
There's Matt Novella. So qualifying is almost wrapped up. Looks like Matt Novella was able to get a time there. It looks like 8th place currently. And there's Zach Stevens. We've seen Zach have a few good runs this season, a hard charger as well. So that 47 definitely has that Swiss Army knife of tools, knows how to use that speed and get to the front. And there's the menace. There's the menace himself, Louis. He knows how to put on a show.
Yeah, he knows how to do that right there for sure.
Yeah, so Gambrill trying to straighten it out there. Looks like he's just going to pull in the pits and call that one a day and wait for the grid up there. Looks like qualifying is wrapped up, so we had all the sights and sounds at Iowa Speedway there for you. And Justin Parham is going to take the pole. We know Justin knows how to qualify. He's gotten himself many poles before in this series. just keeping up that standard of consistency. Ken Redinger, current series and chase leader, your defending champion. He'll be outside row 1. Zach Stevens with a great qualifying effort, going to start inside row 2. Blake Tuggle, we saw him the early pole sitter before he was unseated, going to be outside row 2, right up front there. Jay Stinson going to be inside row 3 with Vulpes outside. Then you see Matthew Fritz and Tommy Fox are going to be row 4. Matt Novella, Steve Lewis, row 5.
Going through the rest of the field, you see row 6 has got Dalton Connor, Eric Gambrell on it. Gambrell there not having a good second lap for himself, so he'll start back in 12th. The last one to put down a lap time was John Beverly. He'll start alongside Brandon Garand, who will start the race from 14th here tonight. And that is the field.
You know, a little bit smaller field than we're accustomed to seeing, but sometimes, you know, when we get into the playoffs and we get near the ends of season, you know, some drivers take weeks off and life happens. You know, it's a fun hobby, but to those that can commit full and part-time, we love seeing them out there mixing things up. And I think we're going to go down to the grid walk for tonight's race command.
Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshal, owner of Star Importers, Monty Huda.
Drivers, start your engine.
Fired up.
Oh my, Monty Huda laying it down for you. Legendary there, legendary. So they were cranking them up. Those engines are revving up, and Pace Car is going to lead us off here as we are in the middle of our chase, Season 3, Round 3 of the chase here on Friday Night Thunder. Guys, I'm going to give it to you guys to talk the strategy tonight. What are we looking here? Can we make it on one stop on the fuel run?
It's going to be tight, but it looks like fuel is going to be just good enough as long as you're able to run consistent lap times to be able to get to lap 70. The question is, can the tires make it that far? We've seen in the next-gen Cup car at this track in particular that the right front really gets eaten up on a long run, especially one that's over 40 or 50 laps. So I'm curious to see if these tires react in a similar sort of way where they can't go further than 50 to 60 laps on the tires.
Louie, you're no stranger to Iowa. What are you seeing tonight? What's going to be the strategy on this initial green flag run?
Well, you're going to see guys take it 2-3 wide. You're going to see guys try to get to the front quick. Then you're going to see guys just kind of fall back and try to save tire, I do believe here. So,
yeah, so multiple strategies in place.
Yeah, I believe so.
Some going to try to charge to the front. Others is going to try to maybe take care of their equipment. And, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see. Parham and Redinger, you know, those guys are hard chargers. They're not going to want to give up the lead anytime during the race. No. And, you know, we've seen Tuggle with lots of speed. We've seen Zach Stevens charging to the front. These first 2 rows are dangerous. These guys know how to put the power down, and these guys know how to challenge for the front. So we might see fireworks early. What do you think, Joe?
I mean, I'm looking at row 3. Those are 2 guys trying to get back into the championship hunt. Jay Stinson, Joe Vulpes, they're starting in 5th and 6th. So they're going to want to try and battle with these aggressive guys here in the second row right in front of them, and then get their way to the front row and that 1-2 points battle, of course, starting 1-2 in the race here again tonight. So I think they're going to want to try and work their way forward as fast as possible here. So might be a lot of 3 and 4 wide racing here early on. We'll see if it really works out, though, with this new pavement.
Absolutely, with this new surface here, you know, we see a lot of the field go for that repaved area, so it takes away a lot of that 3 and 4 wide. But enough of that. Pace car is off. We are green. Parham gets a great jump there. Redinger is going to match him. They're side by side. It's Iowa. It's Friday Night Thunder. Justin Parham going to be able to clear through 1 and 2. As you see Vulpes there kind of sliding back a little bit. And we see Gambrell and Lewis back there as well. Taking a look back there, you see Gambrell. As you see, Parham clearly has the advantage through 1 and 2. And then absolutely just smoothly goes up on that wall. Look at that. Look at that hornet's nest behind him, fellas.
Alden Connor seems to be way off the pace here early on. I see him 17, 18. It looks like he's coming down the pits here. Got damage to the car. John Beverly a little back as well. Looking at the telemetry data, looked like there was a stack up there on the inside line. Some shifting in lanes. Looked like maybe some guys trying to win the race on lap 1 there, see?
Yeah, I think the 46 might have been involved there, and the 93 kind of had to check up, and the 77 had nowhere to go. It looks like Dalton Connor is going to park it for the night. Unfortunate there, as they do have the fast repair, but I think, you know, with a race like this, the typical long green flag runs just decided to call it there. So really unfortunate to see lap 1, turn 1 stuff going on here at Iowa tonight.
Shenanigans.
It did seem like he was in a start and park situation as well. That's what I'm hearing. So that's just an unfortunate break for him to not even get a chance to race with anybody at all before having to step out. Tommy Fox is well far back. He started from the pits. Right now he's half a lap down in 13th, last car on the track. So he's got a lot of work ahead of him. Gonna need a caution to get back into this thing.
Yeah, that 00 unfortunately missed the grid up, so he did elect to start from the pits there. So you never know, it may work out. It might not be the last of the fireworks we've seen early, but Justin Parham definitely out to a 5-car length lead over Ken Redinger. You see Zach Stevens in 3rd, Blake Tuggle to 4th, and Jay Stinson rounds out the top 5. So it looks like a lot of what you said, Louie, tried to get there in the front, and then a lot of single file afterwards. A little follow leader. Whoa, Vulpus with a problem. Look, Vulpus doing a little bit of landscaping. Yeah, he said, good save, able to go down pit road and save the car. We're still green.
No harm, no foul.
98 gets in the wall off the next corner. Everybody's struggling a little bit on corner exit right now.
A little loosey-goosey there in the corners. Track temperature a little warm there, so the guy's pushing it a little bit early. Not enough rubber laid down as we currently see, so these guys are just going to have to enter and exit at their own risk. But Vulpus there with a great save. You know, it's not ready to harvest that corn yet, but he wanted to mow the yard, it seemed.
He's now about 6 seconds back of the leader. Looks like about a second and a half behind this battle that we're looking at right here, which is Gambrel, Lewis, and Garand for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Everybody's pretty much spreading out here early on, and this is what led last season to being a no caution race, is everybody just spreading out on their own time here. However, we didn't have this loose factor last season because we weren't in daylight. So it seems to have added an extra spice here early on.
It was a cooler conditions there as we had the night race last season. So right here in the midday sun, track definitely warmed up. So it's a kind of driver's track, if you will, where handling is at a premium. You see Stinson there wheeling that thing all over the place there. So hopefully he can get that car dialed in and hit those marks. But definitely has his hands full at the moment.
Yeah, she's hot and greasy for sure out there. Go ahead, Joe.
What are you thinking here, Lou? You thinking that the guys up front are pushing maybe a little bit too hard and they're going to wear their stuff out, and maybe guys like Novella, Gambrel back here that are falling about 4 seconds back are going to be better on a long run?
You know, no, but
look at that. Novella's letting Gambrel go here. Wow. Novella, you know how good he is at saving tires, Louis. Oh, the 57 not saving tires with that move.
He's going for it right there. Garen with the power move there. He said, you know what? He's here to race. He's here to race, guys. But yeah, you see Novella letting Gambrel go. He said, here, man, you know, you want to set the pace and burn your stuff up. I'll see you in a handful of laps. I'll reel you back in.
Louis, I want you to finish that thought though about saving tires and how you don't think it's going to work if these guys are not pushing it hard enough.
You would think that would be the case, but we'll see if it is. I mean,
see some drivers are just determined to set their own pace, and they throw the strategy right out the window. Great little cluster right here. This is probably the tightest battle that we have on the track at the moment there. So we got the action right here. Parham has a comfortable lead over Redinger. You see Zach Stevens and Tuggle are a couple seconds behind those two. You know, it might be a little cat and mouse game here as we're 16 laps in of our 140 lap main event from Iowa. You see Redinger there slowly inching in on Parham. Parham had like a 5-car length lead a few laps ago. It looks like it's down to 3 or 4 as we go in the corner entry. That 47 is just stalking right behind them. So a little bit of a 3-car breakaway here as we see early separates them from 4th on back.
Yeah, I'm looking at these times, and it's very gridlocky, like next-gen short track gridlocky time-wise right now, where it's kind of hard to make passes or catch up to groups if you lost time on like the start or restart or whatever. You know, you got this front group, and it looks like their times have stayed about the same. Then you got the second group with 3 cars, and their times have stayed about the same. Then you got Gambrel, Novello, Garin. Yeah, so you can look at how equal everybody's lap times are. Don't matter where they are on the track. Everybody's within 0.2 of each other, so that's very next-gen-esque of where nobody's really gaining time on anybody else, and it's just going to turn into a bit of a gridlock sort of race.
It's going to be a little hard to try to make up some time on the track once you find yourself separated there. As you see Fritz trying to move around, search around for the line, maybe try to find some clean air, maybe break that up a little bit. As you see Stinson prefers that second lane. You know, it's just trying to search around for grip and search around to try to get the best lap times there to see if you can get the advantage. But you see 2 clear 3-car packs, the 3 in the lead, and then 4 through 6. And then it's just a hornet's nest behind those, all those guys running the line. So be very interesting to see if this holds serve, as Stinson really likes to wing it out there in that middle lane to just arc it out high, where Fritz and Gambrel both are kind of sending it low.
You got to try and find a way to make a pass here, though. Right, Louis? I mean, like, you're not going to pass somebody by following them. Oh, boy.
Fritzy gets a little bit out of shape there, but able to recover nicely. Good save out of that 48.
Yeah, it's just tough. It really is tough to set someone up for a pass. It's unless they just let you go. It's really, I mean, you got to really drive it in there hard.
Absolutely. You see Tuggle there kind of leading this second pack, but Stinson is slowly trying to apply that pressure, try to get right behind him, then kind of slide up in that second line, maybe try to get out of that dirty air, you know, see if he can break that air and find a clean opening. It's kind of difficult when, you know, that bottom's working so well.
Yeah, the bottom... Go ahead, Louis.
The track should tighten up, though, shouldn't it? I mean, as the race goes on, more rubber's laid down. Tracks should tighten up, I do believe so.
Yeah, notoriously, the right front is the tire to wear the most on the car. On this new surface, we've seen that in the Cup car, in the truck as well. Haven't seen an O'Reilly race here in a while, I think since the new pavement, but definitely in the Cup and in trucks, the right front is where most of the wear happens.
What? Definitely try to keep an eye on that when these guys decide to pit. We'll try to hear reports of the tire wear, see if we can get a close peek. But this is the tightest battle on the track right now. Stinson right behind Tuggle there. It just looks like you just get so close to the car, and it seems to be so hard to effect a pass and set that up.
Free air is such a huge factor. Even in the ARCA cars, it can be a huge factor. At a track like this, where lap times are so close, it's so hard to set up a move that you really want to be able to make, especially when it's a kind of like a one-lane track. Pretty sad to see the way Iowa gets raced now. The legacy version would be a lot more fun, probably. I know we've had a couple races here and that, but
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
good battles in this car, and then in the trucks as well with the old surface. You know, you go 3-4 wide because you have that multi-groove racing, you have that old worn-out surface. So a lot of that style of racing, those battles have disappeared. So what you have is this, where grip is king, and trying to live right at home in those paved patches are definitely going to give you the advantage.
And this is exactly why a full pavement for this racetrack would be a good idea. If you're going to repave, don't repave patches of the track, because you just kind of ruin the kind of racing around the track. So NASCAR and Iowa, if you're listening out there, repave the whole track, because this is dumb.
I think this is a worse idea than putting PJ1 down there or any kind of grip compound, because it just completely limits your options, and I think it compromises the way that you can race the track, and you know, the battles, and the way that other drivers like to run their race. But with that being said, this is what we have. So rant over. As you see, Tommy Fox, who started from the pits, is slowly reeling in that 77 of Beverly, who was involved with that lap 1 incident with Dalton Connor there. Dalton Connor officially out of the race tonight. So Tommy Fox slowly making that hay. I think Beverly slid those tires, and he's paying the price here, as we're 31 laps in of a 140-lap main event tonight.
Yeah, looking at the interval, it's not that Tommy's really running faster, it's that Beverly's fallen off compared to everybody else right now. Tommy's pretty much held the gap at about 12 seconds, and you can see it there. Beverly misses the black surface, and when that happens, it's game over in any corner. Looked like he got the wall for good measure as well.
Yeah, so
and had a really bad corner.
He wants to hit all of the track right there. As you see, Stinson still trying to prowl Tuggle there, but it looks like Tuggle is reeling in Zach Stevens a little bit, as Parham and Redinger have gotten away from him a little bit, boys.
He's definitely closing in, for sure.
Yeah, so that 39 is just slowly, methodically, just nicking a 10th here, a 10th there, reeling in that 47 there. So we might have ourselves a battle for third shortly.
Yeah, another case of somebody that's fallen off here, Zach Stevens. He was right there with Parham and Redinger, but now he's fallen off into the second group. Tuggle and Stinson haven't really made any headway on the guys in front, rather than Stevens has just fallen off them back into Tuggle and Stinson's fingertips here, pretty much. We'll see if with him falling off a little bit more than Tuggle and Stinson, if that gives them enough of an advantage to make a move here in a lap or two, because if you end up sitting behind that 47, you're going to lose time. And I think in this case, you're probably thinking about when you want to pit in order to make up the time that you need for this race. So maybe try and undercut by a lap or two, maybe pit up with on lap 68 or something like that, to try and make up that additional time.
Yeah, because you're about a little more than halfway or so through the fuel run on a tank of fuel. So very curious to see if some of these guys are trying to one-stop it or not. I think it's possible, but some of those that are running consistently, taking care of the throttle, taking care of the quick equipment, not overdriving the corners. But the 39 is rapidly approaching the 47, so we should see ourselves a really good battle for third here in a moment.
Hey, Louis, where you want to be? You want to try and be running the second lane to defend, or you want to be running the bottom?
I want to be running the bottom myself. It's just personally.
I think we're going to find out here shortly.
Yeah.
That 39 is right on the heels of the 47 there. It looks like he's going to slowly put that pressure on the 47 there. Maybe get on that bumper, try to make him a little loose there. You see him go underneath, setting it up.
This is still so tough to do, though. I mean, especially if they can get any kind of run out whatsoever on the outside.
Yeah, you could set the pass up, but trying to complete that pass, Louis, that's one thing. Yeah, trying to complete it's another. Ooh. As you see, Stevens going to pay the price. I think that's going to help the 39 and the 98 going for the 2-for-1 special there. Stevens with a little bobble hits the wall. Tuggle and Stinson able to get by Stevens right there. And it looks like Tuggle in third. Now we'll see if he can nick a little bit of time off and make up a little bit of that gap to Redinger and Parham. As you see, those two guys have kind of leveled off. It's a little bit of follow the leader between the 99 and the 24 at the moment. Redinger's just staying, within a couple car lengths of Parham since the green flag of this car, and these guys have kind of like all gotten spread out in single file. Parham leading it wire to wire thus far, Joe.
Yeah, Tuggle there was able to make that pass without giving up any time to these two, though. So that's very crucial if he wants to catch up. I'm actually watching the lap times. Tuggle is a little bit faster right now that last time around. It's not by a lot, but, we got about another 30 laps to go in this run. So if he continues to run, a tenth faster here and there, he will catch up to these two up front. But Parham right now doing exactly what he needs to do. He's leading the race, got all the clean air. Even if Redinger's in second, this is still a huge points gain just by winning the race if he's able to hold on and go wire to wire. Especially if Redinger doesn't lead a lap, that's a bonus point that doesn't go to Ken either. So Parham right now doing what he needs to in order to get the max amount of points over Redinger.
Yeah, and then that's just playing, smart here, approaching the chase, knowing the assignment, knowing how many points you are back. It's not desperation mode, but if you can get a nice advantage like this and be able to get a max points effort and deny the points leader of any of those bonus points, that's one way to chip away at that gap and put yourself right in the thick of things. As we see there, going back further in the field, you see Vulpes there. Tommy Fox trying to mount a charge on Vulpes, who we saw do a landscaping job earlier in the run, able to save it nicely down pit road with the 00. He's just running nice, consistent times, not doing anything too flashy here, and slowly trying to make up some of those positions. So the 00 having a good run early after a race start miscue.
Yeah,
And
he's
right
done
now,
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe.
no, go ahead.
Tommy's done a great job of just maintaining that gap by missing the start there to not go a lap down. He's done a great job.
So easy to do, Louis. So
Yeah.
I definitely tip my cap to him. Just those self-inflicted mistakes are some of the worst that you can have, especially in racing, where it's a game of tenths or thousandths of a second lap to lap.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy, Jay Stinson there going for a little ride. He said, Joe Vulpes, I didn't like your landscaping job. Let me show you how it's done, son. Stinson able to recover nicely. Almost gets himself a lap full of Eric Gambrell there. The 97 in peril there. The Menace just able to skirt by him, not caught up in that hurricane. My God.
Yeah, that could have been very, very bad.
Exactly. That could have been the first caution of the race right there very easily. Stinson and Gambrell, good heads-up driving there to not run into each other.
Yeah, that coming out of 4 can be a little treacherous here at Iowa tonight. We saw Stinson early with a couple handling issues with a loose race car and just finally got around on him there. But great recovery there and able to avoid the contact and get back into the field. Lost a couple positions, but only slid back to 7th. So not as bad as it could have been, fellas.
That could have been disaster, but they done a great job of not running into each other right there, so no harm, no foul.
That's it. It's just kind of a play-on deal. You see the 56 of Matt Novella, the Monster Energy Ford Mustang there, trying to take a peek, see if he can inch his way in further. We'll see if there's any damage to the underbody of Stinson or any damage on the tires there. Brandon Guerin coming in early. It's a little unscheduled, fellas, a little early, wouldn't you agree?
This is committing to a two-stop right here, 100%. Pitting here on lap 50, probably going to pit again on lap 100 if this thing stays green, and try and make up the time on the back end by having the fresher tires. I think if those lap times are about a second, maybe 1.2 seconds off the fastest times, though, so I don't know if there's really a lot of time to be gained here, or at least enough time to be gained by pitting early and taking the extra pit stop, at least to offset that.
It's one of those situations where you just ride in line, it's not working. Maybe try what they're not doing and see if that works. So Brandon Guerin trying to shoot the moon there, and we'll keep eyes on that to see if that's going to work to his benefit. But without a major fall off in time, like you alluded to, Joe, I don't know if this scenario is going to work out for the 57.
3 laps down. Now the larger issue is he doesn't need a caution before everybody else pits, or else he's effectively out of this race.
It's also assuming that this goes caution-free like we had last season. You're exactly right.
Let's see. So those front three are getting close to each other. You look at that. You can see 7/10 for Brandon. That's not going to be enough. Needs a lot more than that. The fall off is just not enough. But it does look like Parham's starting to fall off because Redinger's starting to get on his heels, and Blake Tuggle's actually closed it down to a second. He's cut that gap in half.
So the 24 is on the prowl, but look at that 39 entering the frame. He's slowly, methodically chipping away, and I feel like by the time we get to the pit cycle, he's going to be right there with them, boys. This is going to be interesting to see as these laps click off as we get closer to halfway.
He's kept that 10th advantage about per lap, so that's enough to get to the back bumper of Ken for certain here in the next probably about 5 to 7 laps. If he's gaining 2/10, though, he'll be there before we hit lap 60. So that's going to be close to keep an eye on. You can see most of the lap times still very close to each other. Only a couple cars look like that are really outside of a couple tenths off, at least. And it doesn't look like it's happening consistently either, so everybody pretty much still within only a couple of tenths of each other, so it truly is just finding that little bit of time. And look at that, here we go.
There he is. He's on Redinger heels as the top three is approaching the lap traffic there. Looks like Beverly's going to let them all go as he stays high, let these guys race on. Quite a battle for the top three here. And then you see Guerin entering the picture trying to get at least one of those laps off. Beverly staying up high, but Tuggle needed more of the racetrack than anticipated. But look at that. It opened an opportunity to dive and slide under the 24 right there to gain second place. Oh, Matthew Fritz with a problem there. Oh, my goodness. That's the second time we've seen Fritz with a handling issue. He's going to be down there on that flat pavement. He's going to be off the racing surface, so we race on. But the 48 with another issue. Oh, that's unfortunate to see.
And it's going to put him on the tail end of the lead lap now, about a second or two in front of the leader of Parham. So that's going to create some more lap traffic for these guys to deal with. And look at this. Here comes Brandon now through the leaders, and that may slow these guys up a little bit as well.
Trying to unlap himself the traditional way after pitting early, going on that two-stop strategy, we believe. And he definitely needs to get one of these back as soon as possible before we see Parham and company go for their pit stops. The 57 needs to be unimpeded here, try to get all he can. Definitely press the car, but not use his stuff up so quick. But it looks like, Parham with a little wiggle there is going to allow the 57 to get one of those 2 laps back. But Parham there, definitely feeling the pinch with that older stuff. And look at that 39 right there, guys.
Parham's led wire to wire to this point. However, 39 at Tuggle is pressuring him hard to take over the lead and turn over the lead to somebody other than Justin Parham for the first time today.
Yeah, so we're seeing a real legitimate challenge for the lead before we go to the pit cycle here. We're imagining somewhere between the next 6 to 9 laps, we're going to have our pit stops here for these leaders, as I believe they're going to try to cut the race in half. Justin Parham there really hasn't felt much pressure, but that 39, he just keeps chugging and chugging and chugging. Look at him right there, right on the back bumper. Louis, if you're the 39 there, how are you setting up this pass? Look at him right there as we go on board with Tuggle.
Well, I noticed coming out of 2, he was definitely getting on it earlier and better and faster. He's pulling out of turn 2.
Well, look at these good camera angles there.
He's got on him right now.
we had that hood view going on, and you could see how he dipped underneath the 99 on the backstretch right there, not able to pull it off. So hard to complete that pass on the bottom there, as the momentum with Parham rolling the mid and upper lanes there, able to carry that momentum. Let's see if Tuggle can set up another charge here.
Now let's watch this corner right here. Oh, he takes it.
He's definitely hugging that white line where Parham's arcing it a little bit more, using that middle lane.
Yeah, they're pretty close to even in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2, I think Tucker definitely has the advantage. For sure.
Absolutely. So you see him coming.
He's going to make a pass out of.
He's gonna try it out of 4 there. Yeah. Start finish line. He's setting it up a little bit earlier this time. Let's see if he can complete the job. Yeah, Parham's just got the momentum there. It's going to be hard. I think we're going to need to see maybe fresher tires try to set this up here, as these guys are running older stuff. You see, is that Redinger down there on the bottom? Is that Ken coming in, fellas?
Yeah, he's going to really short pit this. This is going to be very tight to try and make it on fuel. Going to have to go 74 laps. I don't really see anybody going past 72 for the most part, so that might be too soon.
So Ken trying to undercut to try to get that clean air, maybe set the pace, maybe see if he could save some fuel in the process. Look at Tuggle here, trying it once more, guys. This is the closest it's been. Battle for the lead. Tuggle's going to get the job done. New race leader, Blake Tuggle, able to slowly stalk and count down and get by Justin Parham there. See a little tap in the wall, perhaps. But new race leader, Blake Tuggle.
Parham should answer right away in pit, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
That's the smart money right there. Don't want to lose any more time. You've seen Tuggle has been consistently stronger over the long run there. Let's get those freshies and try to mitigate any of that time loss. Smart move from the 99.
This is on the short end of it, so he should be good to go 72. But
let's see if
definitely
Tuggle
going to push
responds. Looks like Tuggle's going to stay out. I was thinking maybe he would respond and directly after, but I think with such a long-run car, he doesn't mind stretching it a little bit longer, make up that deficit once again.
Yeah, most guys are going to go half, split it directly down the middle just to be safe.
So it looks like a clean in and a clean out. 4 fresh General tires. Pack that thing full of Sunoco race fuel. Justin Parham out there without issue.
Well, he'll be the leader once
too.
Michael's through, should be.
Louis, I wouldn't speak so fast. Redinger might be able to jump him by pitting those couple laps sooner.
Yeah.
We'll see. Looks like Parham's still ahead of him, though.
Yeah, Redinger's going to have to be in a little bit of a fuel save thing here. Maybe he's got that calculator out and knows something that we don't. We've seen him pull all sorts of bags of tricks out of that hat of his, you know, and he's a defending champion for a reason. Look at Matt Novella. Wow, he almost Larsoned it into the barrels there. Matt Novella coming in hot and heavy, boys.
Yeah, I'm going to think that might be a speeding penalty based on how fast he came in there. We'll see. I saw Zach Stevens also completely miss the entry to pit road there, and he used that access road down there. So he lost a lot of time as well coming around to pit this time.
Looks like Novella's got a little bit of a damage there, a little scuff, and he nicked those barrels just enough, I think. And once that jack goes down, let's see. Oh yeah, he got busted, boys. Look at that. I think that's a black flag indeed. All right, you see all the guys coming down. That brought everybody down, fellas. And just like you said, Joe, they cut it just a little more than halfway. It'll be a little bit shorter on the back end here, so these guys can definitely make it to the end, as they were able to go about 73, almost 74 laps on that initial run. So they'll be in good shape to make it to the end. As you see, race leader Blake Tuggle comes in for service there. And well, the real thing is going to be when they all cycle back out. We'll see if Parham inherits the lead, as you see Redinger behind him right there.
For certain.
It looks like Parham's going to have that momentum and be your race leader there. I wonder how long it's going to take Blake Tuggle to mount that charge again, because it took the majority of that initial run, boys. And with all these guys coming down pit road, it's definitely all cycling out there.
Well, he'll have about 8 laps, fresher tires than
think that might come into play here. We'll have to see. And Justin Parham there got a nice advantage, able there to stretch it maybe 2 car lengths over Ken Redinger. Then we saw them separated by through most of that initial green flag run as we are past halfway from Iowa.
But he's definitely got his work cut out for him again if he's going to try to run him down.
It looks like he does because, you know, he's in third, but, you know, he's down a little more than 3 seconds at the moment right there as he gets around. Gambrill over there gets around Guerin, so we'll have to monitor Blake Tuggle there as Eric Gambrill in fourth. You know, he's a little bit more off the pace. It's become a 3-car race essentially at this point, barring anything kind of funky happening and that flag that we don't like waving pop out tonight.
Yeah, Guerin also not getting the time that he needed on that strategy. He's 100% going to need a caution to stay in this because he's right now half a lap down and he's going to be consistently slower than the leaders on those 25 lap old tires compared to everybody else who's on pretty much single-digit lap old tires at this point.
Yeah, these guys definitely have the freshies, and being already ahead of the 57, yeah, he's gonna need that yellow to wave so he can help his chances out and be able to be on a level playing field with these boys. But look at Redinger right there, just like 2 car lengths back, 3 car lengths back. This is kind of like a rinse and repeat we saw for the first 50 laps or so of this race. But Justin Parham holding serve, your pole sitter currently comfortably in the lead right here. Doesn't look like Redinger's really applying the pressure. He's just staying within touch of that 99.
Looking at those lap times, Guerin is a second off, but Blake Tuggle right now is consistently a couple tenths of a lap faster than the front 2. So I think that gap's at like 2.5 right now. So he might be there in the next 5 to 10 laps at that pace.
Yeah, so while we watch that, what do you guys think? How about seeing the sights and sounds of Iowa Speedway? What about a crank it up?
Yeah.
welcome back. After a nice extended crank it up, here are all the sights and sounds of Iowa Speedway. We're just riding on board here with Blake Tuggle trying to mount the charge there. We saw him as the race leader before we all cycled out. Justin Parham there is your pole sitter, your current leader. Been the class of the field for the most of the race. Only 2 lane changes. Parham has led the majority of the laps, but we're noticing that 24 staying right behind him and that 39 trying to make that comeback. Louis, Joe, I mean, it's been really exciting to see. I'm not seeing these cars get as loose as they did on that initial run there. Do you think it's been rubbered in, Louis? What are you seeing out there?
Well, I believe so. I don't see him getting as loose now. Well, Joe got a little loose there.
But he was able to kind of get right back in there where, you know, early in the race we saw a couple guys spin it out of 4. And we go right on board with Zach Stevens there coming into the pits, boys. What's going on here with the 47?
Uh-oh. I don't know what's going on here. That's not good. Maybe some sort of issue going on with his race and putting tires on. Not really sure.
Yeah, we saw him up to the front there. He was running in 3rd for, you know, the early part of the race there. Then we started to see him slip back a little bit, so we'll keep tabs on that 47, see what's going on there, but unfortunate to see out of Stevens.
Here comes Novella trying to unlap himself, get back to 1 lap down.
Yeah, Matt Novella trying to, you know, a little adversity there, swipe the barrels a little bit, had that speeding penalty as a result, trying to make back those valuable seconds. He's definitely one that would love to see a caution right now. As you can see clearly, you know, trying to get back one of those 2 laps. But Joe Volpus currently in that lucky dog position. Another one that needs a little help today. But look at this log jam up here, fellas.
Yeah, look at Tuggle, the way he back.
3 wide.
3 wide. Look at Tuggle go, boys, with Novella the lap car. Oh my goodness.
No!
Blake Tuggle hits the 56, and we got ourselves a problem. That's going to bring out the caution. Look at the yellow lights flashing. My, oh my, 3 wide there. Where did Tuggle come out of nowhere?
Yeah, that's probably...
So Matt Novella trying to get back one of those 2 laps there. You saw Parham and Redinger on the high side, and then you saw that 39 like a rocket ship on the bottom. Contact inevitable. The 56 goes for a ride. Matt Novella involved in tonight's first caution from Iowa Speedway.
It's also going to keep him from getting one of those laps back. Almost was in position there to be 1 down and maybe get a wave around. But instead now still stuck 2 down. Looks like Volpus going to get the lucky dog. Here comes the 7 cars on the lead lap down pit road.
Yeah, they're going to...
they're all coming for tires except for... Whoa! Brandon Guerin may be staying out on strategy. I don't think this is I think this may have been he just missed the pits the first time.
I think, yeah, because he had the older tires, and why would you not go back down and get that final set like these guys are going to do here? You want to have that fresh rubber to have that big shootout here.
Difference at this track because it's a short track. He could still come around and pit the next time by, which is what I would expect to see here from Guerin. Everybody else taking 4 tires, it looks like.
Yeah, so the leaders taking their final set of general tires there. It's going to be a shootout here. First caution from Iowa. We went caution-free last season. It took us, 2/3 of the way through tonight's race to generate the first caution. You know, a lot of clean racing out there tonight, boys. So quite an interesting display there. But we'd like to pay the sponsors, and there's a gentleman that has a question for you.
Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special Hey, got wood, KK Woodscapes.
And there was the question. I know the answer. Do you know the answer? Kevin Kyle over at KK Woodscapes. He'll bring your creations to life. If you can envision your plaque, your trophy, your award, he can create it. Reach out to KK Woodscapes today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that don't get your wood wet. I don't know what will. But you see some guys taking the wave around over here. Gentlemen, you know, we're in the final third of this race. Leaders take their final set of freshies. Talk to me. Let's unpack this.
You got 8 cars on fresh tires, first through 8th. Vulpes is going to line up on the inside behind Garen, so technically 9th in line, based on the EOL penalty for being a lucky dog. All the wave round's going to line up behind him, so Fritz, Fox, and Novella, the only 3 left in the race, behind him right now with Stevens, Beverly, Connor all out. So Fritz, Fox, Novella going to line up behind Vulpes as the wave round's on old tires.
So, you know, you see the lights are off the pace car. Pace car is off. Parham decided to take the inside. Redinger on the outside. Gets a great jump. We're back green here, coming to lap 98 of 140 on Friday Night Thunder. Justin Parham gets the great advantage there. Poises the car for perfect corner entry. Navigates 1 and 2 execution style. And look at Blake Tuggle challenging Redinger on the backstretch, fellas.
Blake Tuggle is going to take advantage of that great restart from Parham and take over second place. Louis, if you're Justin Parham right now, oh my goodness, big contact.
Oh, Brandon Guerin without a nose. What happened there? Oh my goodness, look at that contact, fellas. Oh my goodness, the 57 there. Oh God, look at the carnage.
Looked like he got loose trying to complete the pass on Stinson, ends with him in the wall. It sounds like not going to be a caution for this one either.
We're still green, so iRacing did not generate. Admins deemed it not worthy of a caution. We race on. Justin Parham with the lead, but Blake Tuggle is steadily approaching. And look at the menace behind Redinger, the menace of Gambrell coming right there. Going to challenge Ken for third here. Look at him set it up.
And look right behind him. Jay Stinson's now back in this in 5th. And Joe Vulpes got the lucky dog, is now right behind in 6th.
Vulpes
so Ken
Redinger.
Yeah, Ken Redinger right now thinking about how he was just cruising on in second place, maybe able to get, maybe only lose a couple points to Parham or find a way to get an advantage.
Woo! Vulpes there with a little bobble, able to recover nicely. He's going to lose a couple car lengths on that, but he gathers it back up. Vulpes trying to get everything he can right there. He knows the situation, and he just needs to keep that race car underneath him. But look at Gambrell here. Challenge Redinger. Looks like Gambrell's going to get the pass completed. Redinger's going to go for that undercut. Nope, decides to tuck back in. Stinson right there, nipping at their heels.
If this race were to finish right now, Redinger's points lead would be cut most likely in half, if not more, with the way they're running right now. But Tuggle battling hard with Parham is exactly what Redinger needs in order to preserve his points lead. But he also is going to need to find a way to get some reprieve because he's got Stinson and Vulpes breathing down his neck after Gambrell got around him.
Yeah, Redinger under fire. Look at Stinson on the outside there. Vulpes recovers nicely back in the picture. Very exciting right here. This is the best battle on the track right now. Vulpes trying to size up Stinson right there. Looks underneath. This is a great battle for 5th. Look at that. They're side by side. Looks like Stinson's going to gain the momentum. Vulpes has to tuck back in.
It's just so hard to set up a pass here, Louis. You touched on that earlier, how hard it is to set up passes here.
Yeah, it's really difficult to set them up and then to execute them and then get it. I mean, make the complete pass. But yeah, it's really tough.
You got to work on them hard right there. You see Redinger taking a peek underneath Gambrell. They're side by side there. Ken wants that back. They're losing touch with the top 2. It's time to go, go, go. But Gambrell able to hold serve and stick in 3rd right there. And Redinger just not going to be complacent there. He's looking all around the racetrack to get around that 46.
Laps taking off very quick here. Remember, this being a short track, these laps aren't very fast. or go by very fast, I should say. Not very fast. They click by very fast. They aren't very long. It's not like you have a lot of time to think about stuff here. So, you know, 30, yeah, look at that. We're already at 34 to go here. So laps ticking off a lot faster than maybe they felt like earlier in the race. And with how even everybody's lap times are, it's so hard to set up these passes. So Ken wants to get this done sooner rather than later, but don't force yourself into a mistake and give up more points than you want to here.
No, you have to temper that aggression. You saw him try to get on that left quarter there to disrupt the air, try to loosen up the 46. Did not work. Gambril's still ahead. 24 going to try to look low and see if he can set that up again. But you got Jay Stinson right behind him. He's looking to take advantage. Oh, Gambril loose there. The little rub there, that might be all Ken needs to get by him. Looks like it's going to be maybe a 2-for-1. Stinson looking inside the 46 as well. They're side by side right there, but Redinger gets third out of all that bobble. Oh, look at Volpus right there.
It looked like Stinson cut off the 13 there. Didn't want to give up a spot. Tried to get around the 46 and tried to reclaim his spot right there. We'll see if everybody's able to keep it sorted, but that's helped out Redinger a lot there, is those three battling hard for fourth.
Well, these guys know, just like you alluded to, Joe, time is running out. These laps click off quick. You're running sub 25-second laps here at Iowa. You know, we're already at lap 110, 30 to go here from Iowa. Before you know it, it'll be 20 to go, 10 to go. You got to make the move now, or you're not going to make the move at all.
Exactly. Lap times are so even, and no tires left in the pits for any of these guys. Right now, Matthew Fritz would be laughing all the way home if these guys caused a wreck up here, because he would be able to come down, take that last set of tires, and blitz the field.
That's right. Look at Stinson and Gambril there. These guys are no strangers to contact and controversy. We're going to set up a potential 3 wide right there. Volpus trying to take advantage, going to undercut both of them. Stinson gets the position on Gambril. Volpus going to get the 2-for-1 right there. I think maybe Eric used up his stuff and those tires are a little hot, maybe screaming at him a little bit, but Stinson and Volpus able to get by that 46.
A little beating and banging right here from 4th, 5th, and 6th going on in this battle. And right now that's just a lap. Ken Redinger is now a second in front, so I think he's pretty much set sail and is probably just going to lick his wounds and going to settle for this 3rd place. Trying to close back in, though. He's slowly reeling back in, but I don't know if he's got enough time to really mount a charge again for the race win.
Lost a lot of time on that restart with the battling and then having to get back, reclaim the position, but able to separate themselves, happily watching those guys battle behind him. I think if this all stays as is, a podium for the 24 is all you need to get the job done. Sometimes it isn't pretty, sometimes it isn't in the cards, but another top performance here out of the 24. And you know, as a champion trying to defend his championship, these are the things that you need to do week in and week out. You keep the car clean and you get the best finish possible. Just take what the race gives you, and so far that 24 is executing to perfection.
Speaking of that championship battle, as we look at Louis and Fritz battling here for 7th, Justin Parham was able to hold off the first onslaught from Blake Tuggle there at the start of that run. As the sun continues to set now and it starts to get a little bit darker, Louis, you think this might change the complexion of the way these guys drive the track?
Yeah, I do. I think they're going to push it harder these last 20 laps than they have in the race. And I think, yeah, the truck's coming in.
See most of the surface there in the shade as the sun is setting in the horizon. Lights might come on the track before the end of the race, but definitely the shade. It's going to cool the track off a little bit. Maybe it'll grip up a little bit. You see that 39, Louis. He looks like he's starting to gather it back up and maybe applying a little bit of the pressure to that 24. He has 23 laps to get this done, so it looks like he's kind of sizing him up. Got a little wiggle out of that 99, 39 looking inside.
Yeah, he was the best car on the last tire run. He was the best car on the long run, I do believe, and he's proven it this run as well. So
he is all over the back of that 99. We're going to have a battle for the lead here. All it takes is one little wiggle. The 99 leaving that bottom open. depending on carrying that momentum up high, Joe. Look at him dive it in there. 39 sending it.
Yeah, I think with the extra grip, though, from the track being in shade, sun setting, the inside's going to have more grip than it did earlier to try and set up this pass. That momentum of the outside is going to be neutralized a little bit from what it was earlier in the race.
Yeah, you see where Parham would able to be clearing it a lot sooner. The 39 is hanging side by side with him more. 39 going to back it down just a little bit, maybe cool those tires off for a lap here, gather it back up, mount that charge again. But I think the 39 has unlocked a little bit of a secret here with the sun going down. I think that 99 needs to defend the bottom. We see the 39 sending it in there once more.
He's got him this time, I think.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be clear. It looked like Parham side by side with him. The battle intensifies, but I think the 39 has a better advantage right now. They're side by side. I think he's going to be able to get it through 1 and 2 right here.
Need a slide job him right here. Take that shallow entry. The 99 sort of missed the black there.
Missed it.
And it's, up
He had the rights on the old surface right there. Wasn't completely in the paved patch. Takes a high entry again. The 99 trying to use that high side to his advantage to carry that momentum. But the 39's right there, is slowly inching forward. I think maybe he clears him. No contact. Woo! That is short track racing.
Yeah, the 39's going to back off. I don't think he wanted to make the pass that way. So he's going to back off, and he's going
Look who's
to...
here.
Yeah. All that battling, though, has let Ken Redinger get back into the picture because of all the time lost. Coming to 17 to go, Ken actually has a chance to win this thing here still.
Look at this, guys. 3-car breakaway here. 2 of the heavyweights in the standings with the newcomer that's shown a lot of speed this season. This is a hell of a battle going on right now as we're 17 to go from Iowa.
Parham's done a good job defending this whole race there, Louie. You think he's got 16 more laps left in him?
Yeah,
Looks like you got him a little loose there.
He's good enough. I just don't know what the car does. But
I think the 39 got him a little loose right there. You see Parham bobble and gather it back up. It lets Tuggle right in there. They're side by side on the backstretch. This is the tightest it's been. We're battling once again.
Lighten up the track a little bit there.
Look at Redinger sneaking in there. Look at, he's just waiting for these guys to make a mistake. Look at him pouncing.
Forget about making a mistake. He's thinking, how am I going to take this 3 wide so I can get around both of them?
Yeah, we've seen Ken do it before. These guys are going after. What a show they're putting on here in the closing laps. Under 15 to go from Iowa. What a show on Friday Night Thunder.
Right now, even with all this hard battling, it's not allowing anybody else into the picture. Stinson, Gambrel, Volp is still 2-3 seconds back. Actually, it looks like Gambrel going to be battling with Stinson for 4th here shortly, and so pretty much these guys are free to battle with each other up front.
This is the battle right here. This is for the race right here. Look at these guys, heavyweights going at it there, swinging haymaker after haymaker, lap after lap, sparks are flying. Wow, this is incredible as the sun sets. The heat turns up at Iowa. Blake Tuggle will not be denied, battling side by side once more with Justin Parham. Ken Redinger waiting to slip it through there and show them both how it's done. I can't wait to see how this unfolds.
Yeah, and they're racing one another pretty respectful right now. They're giving enough room, each other enough to make a pass.
That's the best part about it, Louie. It's clean racing, absolutely.
I think that continues for the last 12 laps, though.
Hold their beer.
Yeah.
Got to start making a move here because this is going to pick up almost within 10 to go. So you really can't be sitting around much longer.
This is a great camera angle, by the way. Imagine you're in this position riding here. Look at these guys going at it. What are you thinking here if you're in 3rd, fellas?
I want these two to get side by side, mess each other up, and sneak up there inside.
That's right. 10 to go from Iowa.
And outside, though, the momentum's just been there enough for Parham to hold on. It is going to get to a point, though, where I think he's going to wear out the tires too much. It's just going to be the matter of, does it happen in these last 10 laps, or is he going to be able to hold on for another 10?
Yeah, it's something else right there. These guys are just keeping it side by side, respectfully, lap after lap, carrying that momentum. But I think you pay a little bit of a price being in that middle and higher groove for Parham there. I think you're right about that tire wear. Tuggle able to use that bottom there, maybe conserve just a little bit more advantage. I think Tuggle proved it on that first run, being able to stay out there about 74 laps, taking care of his equipment. And as we say that, look at the advantage right there. They're side by side. He's really trying to put it in there, really trying to stretch it. He's going to be able to make it happen. Look at the slide job. Boom, he had to get that slide job. New leader, Blake Tuggle.
Yeah, Parham got so loose, and he's going to lose second out of all this. That's actually a huge loss points-wise here, because now Redinger on the race results would get more points than Parham, but all the bonus points would give Parham a couple more, but that's a huge shift in points in just that one corner.
A 2 for 1 in one set of corners right there. Not the worst case scenario there for the 99 in that moment. You want to stay ahead of that 24 regardless of bonus points. You want to get every position possible over that 24. You want to finish ahead of them. You know, after tonight, we just have 2 races left. So these are the moments that you need to be able to execute and maximize your efforts in the points.
Yeah, but it set up Blake Tuggle very well to get his first MRL win here. 5 to go, got clean air, and just Ken Redinger to hold off, which he was better than him on that long run the first time around. Ken's going to have to find a way to find a little bit of speed here with 5 to go.
Louis, can Ken do it with 5 laps here at Iowa?
Oh, sure he can, but it's going to be tough.
He's got to do it now.
It's so hard. Yeah, I mean,
at 39 has that clean air. He's got that advantage, and we saw him a tenth faster lap after lap over these guys in the first half of the race, and now with wide open spaces in front of him, it's just 24 has got to really drive the wheels off of that thing here with going to be 3 to go at the line.
This race is going to be over in just over a minute here. So Ken Redinger really running out of time. Parham out of the picture now for the race one, just going to try and hold on to third. And everybody on back, looks like everybody pretty much settled in where they're going to be running at the end of this race. Position-wise, looks like Novella's out of the race, so that's going to get Garen to top 10. So shout out to Garen for sticking it out to the end there. Going to get a 10th place out of it. Couple battles going on, but right now, you know, Blake Tuggle is got just coming around here at a turn 2, a lap and a half away from that first win.
Yeah, he's stretching that advantage on the 24. The 99 absolutely used this stuff up. The 24 just doesn't have enough. Coming to the line, white flag from Iowa.
Race is now official. Blake Tuggle is less than 20 seconds away from his first win.
All he has to do is go down this back straight, negotiate one more set of corners, and you're going to enter 3 clean on the paved patch. Redinger going to try to give it all he can, but it's not going to be enough. We're coming out of 4. That 39 looked really racy tonight. Blake Tuggle, your winner from Iowa. Good job on Tuggle getting that first win, fellas.
First time.
Gambrell and Stinson a little further back got crazy.
Oh, and Eric and J Daddy contact. That's not the first time they've touched each other, and I don't think they appreciated it.
Well, at least
looked like that was that was a photo finish between them. So it was for a good purpose, at least, pulling some Craven Kurt Busch stuff right there.
Little fireworks on Friday Night Thunder. So Blake Tuggle, your winner from Iowa tonight. We're going to watch him burn it down here in the cornfields. That 39, guys, that Tide machine, it looked just like an unstoppable force, guys. He just built that momentum, and there was no denying Blake tonight.
He was able to do what he needed to do on the long run, and I think he still would have won the race without that caution there that he was involved in, because he had fresher tires than those guys in front. He was about to work his way to the lead. That caution pretty much hurt him, if anything, and he had to work his way back up. Great restart, got Redinger on the restart, and that pretty much made it easy for him to have a 1v1 with Parham.
Absolutely. Louis, your thoughts on what a performance out of 39?
Yeah, other than that caution, he had an excellent race. He was fast tonight. On the long run, mm,
So the 39 absolutely does a wonderful job securing his first Moonlight Racing League victory in the Friday Night Thunder ARCA series. Incredible performance. I think we're going to go ahead and take a look at that finish between the 46 and the 98. It looked like it was a photo finish opportunity right there. Incredible battle between these two. So watch us go back in time a little bit and let's go see what happened here.
Gambrel's using the bottom, and now he's using the 98 a little to turn. And oh, that's a lot of contact. And oh,
Yeah, those two just maybe need to hug it out. But
yeah.
what a finish! What a finish out of those two. Just trying to get every position possible. The chase brings out these moments, trying to get the most points you can. And after a hard day of racing, 140 laps, it's going to be Gambrel with fourth over Stinson right there. But Blake Tuggle, your winner tonight from Iowa, getting that first dub. Good job for him. Ken Redinger doing everything that you need to do to defend a championship there and get a great points effort. Going to be second. Justin Parham, your pole sitter tonight, led the most laps, secured a lot of bonus points, defended like you could not believe, but it just was not enough. He's going to finish P3, round out that podium. We saw the finish right there between Gambrel and Stinson. Eric gets fourth. Jay will get fifth. Joe Volpus, after having a harrowing experience mowing the lawn early in the race, able to get back on the lead lap late and get a sixth place finish. So not the result he was looking for, but a nice recovery out of Volpus. Steve Lewis doing what he does best, running a good, consistent top 10 race, going to finish seventh. Matthew Fritz, we saw him have a couple opportunities there to get loose and have a little bit of a ride he wasn't expecting. Leaves a set of tires in the pits, going to finish eighth. Tommy Fox, Mr. Top 10 himself, going to be ninth. And Garand, as you alluded to, Joe, gets a nice 10th place out of what could have been a disaster.
yep. And then you got the four guys that don't finish tonight's race. Matt Novella ends up in 11th. Ended up out of the race a little bit early after his harrowing experience tonight. Zach Stevens, not sure what happened there, but he ended up out of the race there in 12th. John Beverly ended up out of the race right at halfway. I think he had some additional trouble with pit road on top of the trouble to start the race, which took Dalton Connor out of it, as he was the last car in the race, ends up 14th, only completing the first lap.
So a small field. We had a little bit of quality over quantity tonight. Incredible performance tonight, guys. The Mile Speedway did provide some fireworks there. I felt like that it was a great event, a great place to have a round in the chase. And with all that said, let's see how it shakes up the points here. Looks like Redinger is going to hold serve there. Parham's going to be able to chip away at that lead just a little bit. It looks like he got 2 points on him from the start of the race. It's going to need to be a little bit more of that with 2 races remaining, but able to chip away. Joe Volpus there going to lose a little bit as he is starting to fade a little bit. He's going to have to take a big swing at it here in the next 2 weeks. Steve Lewis there, he's going to hold serve in 4th as well. Lewis having a great campaign this chase. And Jay Stinson moving up the charts too into 5th there. So Jay having a really good chase himself. Matt Novella with some issues today, going to drop one in the standings. Garand with that top 10, he's steadily climbing up that ladder as well. And Dalton Connor, unfortunately, he's going to drop 2 as a result of first lap unfortunate circumstance. And Tommy Fox, he's going to keep it in 9th, and Beverly's going to stay in 10th.
Yep, Gambrel and then Fritz round out the rest of the field in the chase. Right now, if this we had the yellow and the red stuff going on, Parham would still be in that yellow. Right now, guys still within a race are Volpus, Lewis, Stinson, and Novella. So everybody from sixth on back, seventh on back. So second half of the chase runners, all outside of a full race at this point. So they're gonna have a lot of work to do. Realistically, points wise, it's gonna be really hard. You know, with Milwaukee and Atlanta, the only two races left, to make up probably more than. Uh, yeah, it's gonna be hard because Volpus needs to make up about 17 a race. Parm still can easily make up 10 a race. He almost was in position to do that tonight, actually. So he's just kind of got to finish what he started in these next two races if he wants to make up that gap.
Absolutely. If we put that schedule graphic back up, you see next week we go from a banked 1 mile layout tonight at Iowa to a flatter 1 mile ovals, kind of similar to New Hampshire in Milwaukee. We had the pleasure of going to New Hampshire earlier in the season, so we'll see if Milwaukee has any similarities there when we go next week. And then it rounds out at the Legacy layout, Old Atlanta, where we know that can be a cheese grater on tires, but it can be a speed palace as well. Being a 1.5 mile layout, these ARCA cars almost treat them as like a baby super speedway. So anything can happen. A lot of racing left, a lot of what ifs, and anything can happen. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Thoughts on tonight's race? I'll start with you, Joe, and then we'll go to you, Louie, and then we'll talk a little bit more about next week at Milwaukee.
Yeah, a lot of hold and serve tonight with the racing in general. Definitely drove a lot like a next gen sort of race where there's a lot of gridlock. A lot of tire strategy, pit strategy that really played into any sort of movement in the field. And then that one caution really flipped things upside down for a few drivers. Uh, Not really a lot of big movement in the points here. So right now, I think everybody's kind of hoping that Milwaukee is a little bit more of a toss-up sort of race than tonight was, as a more vanilla sort of race.
Louie, your takeaways from Iowa tonight.
Well, the last 25 laps was absolutely crazy because any one of those three guys, top three guys, could have won that race. That's just how good they are, and that's just so you just didn't know. But tonight was Tuggle's night, and congratulations.
Yeah, that was they put on quite a show. You know, the
Yeah.
Thunder lived up to the billing there in that final segment of the race. We turn our sights to Milwaukee next week. I'll start with you, Louie. What are you looking for out of the Milwaukee Mile? What are you seeing there early?
Kinda about the same type of race this was, to be honest with you. I mean, I know they're two totally different tracks and not even close to the same track, but kind of the same stuff as this week. I mean, it's
Joey,
flat.
absolutely. Well, while we're still talking about that, we were at New Hampshire, Louie, earlier in the season, so potentially any similarities there.
Yeah, it's going to get loose, getting out of the corner, and if you get on it too early, and it's going. I mean, it's going to be a great race.
I think so too. We'll do a little compare and contrast when we get there next week. Joe, Milwaukee, you've been there, you've done that. What do you think when we go take the Friday Night Thunder over to Milwaukee?
Based on the MRL DDI race, the diversity in lines that we saw at New Hampshire probably is not going to happen in Milwaukee. But the ARCA cars aren't the same as the trucks, so maybe there'll be a difference in the way that the car drives compared to the truck. In terms of getting that diversity of line that we didn't see in the truck race there. So we'll see if we were able to get some of the crazy stuff that we saw in the New Hampshire race. Probably top 3 races in the ARCA series to this point, with how wild the lines got throughout the race. We'll see if any of that craziness carries over next week.
Yeah, still a lot to unfold. We're really looking forward to going to Milwaukee next week. Be sure to tune in and to be sure you don't miss a single lap. So make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell icon. We'll be there a week from tonight in this time slot. Congratulations to Blake Tuggle getting that first MRL victory there on Friday Night Thunder. Put on an incredible performance. The way you want to win a race, guys. He did a great job out there. We'd love to maybe get him in the booth and talk a little bit about racing from him at some point. but it's on to Milwaukee. So for, Fast Louie, we appreciate you being in the booth. My partner in crime, Smokin' Joe. I'm your host, Snake. And remember, go fast, but past.